an all-new Dr. Phil.
She was holding her terminally ill mother in our production vehicle. She won't let her out. Your wife is fighting for her life, and you have this daughter shoving her to the ground, bloodying her nose.
A family in crisis.
I have a very hard life.
You have embarrassed yourself, and the fact that you do this to your mother is selfish, and shame on you. Maybe that works with your parents, but it does not work with me.
And a mother in denial.
She's such a sweet little girl.
No, she's not. She's an absolute brat. Today's going to be a changing day in your life. You've never had anybody working harder to bring you to the threshold of change than right now. So, I'm on my way in this morning, and I get a call from my producers telling me today's guest, 17-year-old Rae, is barricading her terminally ill mother in our production van. She won't let her out, forcibly trying to stop her from meeting me and discussing her out-of-control behavior and violent meltdowns. Take a look.
Come on.
No, Mom, please, this is ruining my life.
Let's just go talk to Dr. Phil.
Do you understand how embarrassing that is? I'm calling you, please. Please be the only person, Mom. Don't go.
Come on.
Don't go. Don't do this, please, Mom. Please do this for me.
You've done all you can. Come with me now.
As you just saw, Ray's father, Tony, was nowhere to be seen when his wife was begging to be let out of the production van. I told production to take Rae and her mother back to the hotel and asked to speak to Tony alone in my office.
My daughter has basically held my wife, Heather, hostage in the van and is refusing to allow her to come out.
Why are you allowing this to happen?
I'm not allowing it to happen.
What the hell you're not? You're sitting on the curb while she's in the car. You said holding your wife hostage. Why are you not grabbing your daughter and pulling her out of there and putting her on the curb and getting your wife the help that she needs? Why is the tail wagging the dog here? That's my question.
I don't want to leave a mark or a bruise or a scratch.
I totally get that. But at some point, you've got to step up and take back control of this situation.
She'll get combative with me, Dr. Phil. She's really good at headbutting, and I don't want her to do that to anyone.
I understand that. And when she does that, what do?
Walk away, give her time and space to calm down.
And she gets her way.
Yes.
But how did we get in the situation where she is dictating the terms and the pace and the outcome of this? I don't get why he is so ineffectual and so passive that he allows this child to abuse his terminally ill wife. So then, while I'm talking to him, the phone rings to our producer, and it's his daughter.
You're on with Dr. Phil.
Hello, Dr. Phil.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh my gosh, thank you for talking with me. I'm so sorry to waste your time.
You are wasting my time, and you're wasting your mother's time, and she doesn't have much of it. So what do you have to say to me?
I just wanted to ask if you could just please not put my face on TV. I will do the show. I will talk with you. I want the help. I just am completely embarrassed by this whole situation of me being on TV. I'm growing up. I have a career ahead of me. You know, like, sir, I really want to be in the military, and I want to make a life. And I am literally, please, I will do anything. I will go on the show. Just please do not put my clips in
Listen,
my face.
let me solve that for you, okay? I think your behavior is disgusting, and I think what you're talking about, embarrassing yourself, you don't need me to help you do that. You have embarrassed yourself, and the fact that you are willing to do this to your mother is selfish and ridiculous, and shame on you.
Okay.
Maybe that works with your parents, but it does not work with me. If you want to come over here and sit in the green room and watch this on television, you can do that, but if you walk on my lot, you behave yourself like an intelligent young woman. And if that's not good enough for you, then you stay the hell off of my lot, and I'm going to talk to your parents, whether you like it or whether you don't.
Okay.
I'll see you over here very soon, and I want your mother back over here because I certainly want to talk to her because she deserves help and support whether you think so or not.
I know, sir. I have a very hard life. Am I not on TV? Can you please make sure that my face is not on there?
Yeah, you can come over here, and I'm not going to put your face on television.
Thank you. You really saved my life by telling me that. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I'm not doing it for you.
I know, but thank you.
Well, I can talk to you without showing your face, and I'm certainly willing to do that.
Okay, I will come and I will cooperate. I will talk on TV. Thank you. I'll be on my way.
Okay. That's my attitude.
Thank you.
What's yours?
I wish I had the courage to say those things to her like you do. I've been told that she has a PhD in manipulating adults. And
No. You have a PhD in wimping out. You're going to do two things. You're going to save her life, and you're going to give your wife some peace. She's going to know that somebody hit the reset button for this girl before she exited this world. So it's time for you to take the lead. You're the father here. Take the lead, and that's what I'm going to give you a chance to do today.
okay, thank you.
Fair enough?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll see you over there. What I want to do is wake these parents up and get them in control of this situation. He has a terminally ill wife, and he is allowing her to be abused by this child. Are you kidding me? That is offensive to my sensibilities. So let's talk to Tony. Bring him out. We cleaned up a little better, didn't we?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, you and I talked just briefly a short time ago in my office. Have you had a chance to reflect on what we talked about?
Yes.
What do you think about what I had to say to you?
I think you're absolutely correct. My daughter is out of control. I've allowed her to get out of control. I don't know how or when. It just gradually happened throughout her life.
Well, you don't know how or when because you've been drunk for 10 years, right?
Yes, I just quit drinking in January.
You've been blackout drunk a lot of the time, right? Where you were just totally unplugged from the situation.
Yes.
Why? Do you know why you got in that condition?
My dad suggested that I get a little bottle and keep it in the garage, hidden, and that helped him deal with me growing up, so it might help me dealing with my daughter growing up. And then gradually over time, the bottles just keep getting bigger and bigger and happen more frequently and daily and weekly and monthly and yearly.
This was your dad's parenting philosophy?
Yes. Vietnam veteran.
Well, who raised him? Wolves?
That's a good question, Dr. Phil.
Really? That was his advice to you? Just keep a little bottle in the garage, numb yourself out, and you'll get through this fine?
Yes.
Is he still alive?
No.
Did he get a chance to see how well this was working out before he passed?
Yeah, he was concerned that my daughter, Rae might end up under a bridge with a needle in her arm and barefoot and pregnant with no education or job skills. And I have the same concerns.
Now, at this point, you're actually afraid of this girl.
Yes.
Why?
She runs a house. She's combative. She's argumentative. She's manipulative. When I try to control her, she'll call the police, and I go to jail. I just got out of jail in January.
And you were in jail in January for what?
For an alleged dog bite?
Because she said you sicked the dog on her.
Yes.
He goes to jail, and you're there for a week, right?
About, more or less, yeah.
Yeah. And then she writes this letter to the police. I lied to the police about my dad making our German Shepherd bite me. I was messing with our dog, and it was my wrongdoing, not his. I apologize for any inconvenience this may have caused. Thank you. So that's like, I'm sorry the power went out on the cash registers when you were in the checkout line. I'm sorry for any inconvenience this may have caused. That's what you say when you have a power outage. That's not what you say when you put your father in jail for a week. That wasn't the only time she put you in jail.
No.
I suspect you were looking for 3 hots and a cot to get away from all this.
Sometimes I just take a break and go to Walmart and take a nap because it's so exhausting.
From breaking dishes to punching holes in the wall to just this morning holding her mother hostage in our production van, Tony and Heather's daughter is what they describe as completely out of control and really calling all the shots. It's what I call the tail wagging the dog. You've called the police like 80 times, right?
More or less, yes, about.
Well, that's what we counted.
Yeah. That's a lot.
And they basically told you, stop calling us, we can't parent your daughter.
Yes, that's exactly what I was told
Because
multiple
the 80 times they've been to your house, that's when resources are there, when some burglar's crawling out of a window across town, and they're not over there because they're over there parenting your daughter because you're not.
Yes.
Okay. That wasn't the only time she put you in jail.
No.
Okay. What was the other time for?
She claimed that I stole her cell phone, and that didn't happen. And
Who bought the cell phone?
myself and my wife.
How can you steal your own property?
It doesn't make sense to me either, Dr.
Well, is this Barney Fife? Who? No, seriously, they arrested you for stealing your own phone?
Yes.
Did you say, let's call the phone company and see who's bought this phone?
No, I did not.
So they haul you off to jail?
Yes, for another week or so.
The phone was found in her bedroom.
Yeah.
So she had the phone the entire time.
Yes.
And I strongly suspect she knew she had the phone the entire time.
Yeah.
So she takes the phone that you own, puts it under her mattress, calls the police, and has you arrested for a couple of weeks.
About, yes.
Did you ever say to anyone, excuse me, officer, I own this telephone. This is my out-of-control teenage daughter manipulating you to leverage me, and I own this phone. You might want to check that before you put those handcuffs on me.
I never thought of that. I was more than likely drunk and didn't think about it.
Yeah, I suspect you were looking for 3 hots and a cot to get away from all this.
Yes.
I mean, you were like, fine.
Sometimes I just take a break and go to Walmart and take a nap because it's so exhausting. I'm serious.
Yeah, where do you sleep at Walmart?
In the parking lot.
Oh.
In my car.
Holy God. Well, when we come back, we're going to meet Heather, who was held hostage this morning in our production van by her own daughter, and I suppose would still be there if we hadn't said, look, purely out of deference to this woman that is really fighting with this illness, we said, we'll deal with this issue in another forum. Let's get this woman home. She wasn't doing well at the moment, correct?
No, she was not at all.
What was happening with her? She was stressing out. She has brain issues.
Yeah. She's terminally ill, and the ammonia builds up in her brain, causing toxicity, and we try to flush it out with diuretics, and that presents a whole nother challenge of issues.
Yeah. Okay. We'll meet her after the break.
My daughter has violent meltdowns at least once to twice a day. She banged her head up against the bed.
I can be scared of my daughter. She just went boom and she hit me. Blood gushed everywhere. But she runs the house. We don't know how to stop it.
Tony and Heather say time is literally running out to help their daughter Rae. Heather has terminal cystic fibrosis and liver failure, And at most, they predict that she might have 2 years to live unless some hero drug, some breakthrough is discovered during that time, which we always hope for, always pray for. She says her dying wish is to know that her daughter will be okay, and in order for that to happen, she asked for me to step in, for me to intercede, to give her daughter a second chance. Take a look.
My daughter is completely out of control. She has violent meltdowns at least once to twice a day. She banged her head up against the bed and has a big knot in the middle of her forehead.
But she runs the house. We were allowing it because we don't know how to stop it.
She's stealing the car, she's doing drugs, she's vaping daily and refusing to go to school. I suspect that my daughter is pregnant right now. I took my daughter to the doctors to get a professional pregnancy test done. Apparently, I didn't sign the correct form to get the results. And the doctor said to just ask my daughter. She refused to tell me. She's constantly playing games. My daughter does physically and verbally get abusive towards my wife, Heather. My wife was diagnosed with terminal liver failure. Heather also experienced a traumatic brain injury from a car accident 19 years ago. Right now, she only has about a year or so to live. Last month, she was fighting with her mom and pushed her to the floor.
I can be scared of my daughter.
When my daughter was about 13, they had an argument in the kitchen. My wife, Heather, was holding her arms down.
She just went boom, and she hit me right in the nose, and it just blood gushed everywhere.
It's hard. I don't know what to do. Sometimes I wish I could just run away from it. I'm totally scared of my daughter.
When your wife is fighting for her life, and that's not a metaphor, she's fighting for her life. You can count on your fingers the number of months she may have left in this world, and you have this daughter shoving her to the ground, bloodying her nose, holding her hostage in a van, abusing her. I mean, that's abuse on your watch. That has to stop. If you listen to me, it stops today. It stops today. She will never do this to your wife again. And let's add Heather.
Hello, Dr.
Heather,
Phil.
how are you?
Been waiting to see you.
Well, so good to meet you.
You have no idea.
Got a step for you here.
Hi, honey.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Tell me what happened this morning before I got here.
I don't know what to say. She gets mad. She gets sad. It's like she just doesn't act. She needs help. She really does. And I just want to do the best for my daughter. I want to be the best mom I can be to my daughter and the best wife I can be to my husband.
You feel like the clock is ticking on your life.
Yeah, it is, yeah. But, I'm not a quitter. I keep trying until.
Well,
I just want the best for her.
and I want the best for you as well.
That she's acting out because she knows that her mommy's on limited time. I don't know. I don't really want to tell her a lot of things. I don't want to upset her. Mm-hmm. But, she's 17 now, and, and she is very intimidated and scared to come out here in front of everybody. She's a very sweet, beautiful little girl. Mm-hmm. She just has a lot of stress.
Mm-hmm. And she's had death in her life.
Yes.
She had a friend that she
shot
lost.
Himself in the head and behind high school. Yeah.
Right. And she's lost a grandfather that she was very close to. Now she's facing this with you. I understand that there are stressors in her life. I don't have any trouble understanding what's pushing her, and I don't have any trouble understanding why she is vacillating around and misbehaving the way she is. But we need to get a couple of priorities straight here. And I want to talk about what that is after the break. Tony says that he tries to bribe his daughter into behaving and admits to buying her a new iPhone 11, bed, couch, TV, and Jeep, even though she doesn't even have a license. I'm going to talk about that and what I think the priorities need to be here after the break. You allow her to party and drink in the house. You allow her to smoke weed in the house. And you allow the boyfriend to sleep over knowing they're having unprotected sex?
No.
He knows it.
I do enable my daughter by allowing her to get away with whatever she wants to do because it's just easier than putting up with her arguments. She has a $2,000 couch, a $1,000 TV, a $1,000 bed. And last year, for her Sweet 16, she got a $5,000 Jeep. She is driving, and all she has is a learner's permit and does not have a driver's license. She was recently in Las Vegas with her boyfriend and his family. I let her go on the trip so that she could experience life and be more social.
I feel like I'm in the twilight zone here. I mean,
Me too.
you know, people ask me sometimes if I think problems are as simple as I make them out to be, and if people really pay attention, I don't think problems are simple at all. Problems are often very complex, very layered, have a lot of different components to them. I don't think problems are simple at all. I think solutions are oftentimes very simple. And I have very fundamental philosophies that I have adhered to my entire life. And one of those is you just don't reward bad behavior. I wrote down some things about your parenting philosophy. I give in. I bribe her. Haven't punished her since 14 years of age. I'm afraid of my daughter. I used to drink to escape. I spend all of my time taking care of my sick wife. That's your parenting philosophy. I pulled it out of your interview. Those are just some of the ones that just jump out.
I have to say, she really is. I'm not in denial. She is such a sweet little girl.
No, she's
And I
not. She's
think
an
that-
absolute brat.
Listen, I'm sorry. She has a tender heart, and it's gotten hardened because of everything that has happened to her.
She is pushing you down and bloodying your nose and not respecting you. You said it. You told me that you fell down and it bloodied your nose. Don't look at him like, what's he talking about?
It was a headbutt.
And your nose was bloodied, right?
It was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't look at me like I made that up.
No, I'm every mother has a deep, deep love of their child and a willingness
And listen,
to
I
want to guard them and protect
I'm the
them.
absolute optimist when it comes to people. I think that she can be everything you want her to be, but it's going to get worse before it gets better. She's going to have to deal with what she's running from. She's going to have to mature. She's operating at an emotional age now of about 9 or 10 years old. I made a list of the ways that you guys enable her. You give her $150 to $200 a week for food and gas and entertainment. You've bought new clothes, makeup, bed, this iPhone, $2,000 couch, TV. You bought her this new Jeep. She doesn't even have a license. You allow her to party and drink in the house. You allow her to smoke weed in the house. You bought her a pipe. You threw away the one she had. She got upset, so you went and bought her another one for $60 for another pipe, right?
Yeah.
You allow her to vape.
I have told Tony the same thing that you said. You know, she only has a temp. She's
No,
really
that's not true.
she shouldn't be driving.
That's not true. She doesn't only have a temp, she has a temp and a car. And you allow the boyfriend to sleep over knowing that they're having unprotected sex?
No. we didn't know that. Which is,
I just found out yesterday that it's.
He knows it.
I just found out yesterday that it's like all the time that they see each other that they're doing that.
when she came to me and told me that she thought that she might be pregnant, I immediately had Tony take her to her primary care physician and get her a shot for birth control. And then there has been boxes of condoms purchased to help her. We have tried.
Yeah, you can make balloon animals with those. She has chores to do, though, right?
She's
Yes,
supposed to.
but
Yeah. And who pays the neighborhood boy to do them?
We do.
I do.
So she has chores to do, and then she has an assistant.
No.
She has a neighborhood boy that you pay to do the chores.
Yes.
Coach Mike Bear is here, and Coach Mike Bear is a life coach who is really respected by his clients. He's helped them get and keep their lives on track. And he's the author of the New York Times bestseller, Best Self, Be You, Only Better. And there are some things that we want to talk to you about before I talk to Rae. And we're going to do that right after the break.
I drank alcohol for 10 years. I drank so much that I would black out and quite often wake up in my own urine. I remember one night I was drunk. I was upset at my daughter for not going to school, and I tried to bust down the door. When I knocked down the door, I would shove her up against the wall. She still throws the last 10 years of my drinking habits in my face. I am my wife's main caretaker.
I feel awful. When I wake up, he wakes me up every day to a handful of pills. So it's not fun.
These are the medications that my wife has to take daily. Heather requires bathing, brushing her hair, putting lotion on her back. I do all the cooking of the meals and do all the laundry. And my daughter doesn't help. My daughter refuses to allow us to be seen in public with a wheelchair. She's very embarrassed by her mom's condition.
Well, Tony says that until the day his wife was diagnosed with terminal cystic fibrosis, he was a full-blown alcoholic, would often get physical with his daughter. Now, Rae says the altercations with her drunken father were so bad that she has permanent back and neck injuries. Take a look.
I drank alcohol for 10 years and just recently stopped. I drank so much that I would black out and quite often wake up in my own urine. I remember one night I was drunk. I was upset at my daughter for not going to school, and she had locked herself in the bedroom, and I tried to bust down the door to get in. When I knocked down the door, I would shove her up against the wall. My daughter tries to blackmail me by calling the police. She sent me to jail and said that I sicked my dog, who's a German Shepherd, onto her. I was drunk when the police showed up over the dog bite. I was there for about 4 or 5 days. She still throws the last 10 years of my drinking habits in my face nearly daily.
Okay, so you say you've been sober how long?
Since January.
Since January, so like 10 months.
Yes.
But, Coach Mike, we've been studying all the records here.
Right.
And you have spent a lot of time working with the drug and alcohol population. In fact, you're certified with that population. And you question the sobriety here, right?
I do question the
Based
sobriety.
on what you've read.
Based on what I've read. And I'm curious to you, what does sobriety mean?
Not drinking.
Okay.
Not a beer, not a shot, not a shooter, nothing.
And what other medications are you on?
Testosterone sometimes, Percocet for my blown out knee, bad back.
How long have you been on Percocet?
15 years, give or take. It used to be morphine. Before that, it was Oxy, and now it's...
So as of now, the Percocet is different than your recovery from alcoholism. You don't kind of loop it all up?
No, I don't.
Okay.
So you're taking 15 milligrams of Percocet a day.
Yes.
And you've been taking some version or combination of this for 15 years?
Yes, on and off. I don't like to take narcotics.
Well, apparently you do.
Well, I have a torn meniscus in my left knee and leaking L5
I mean,
in my
Dr.
back.
Phil has like a haunted mansion inside of him, and I don't think you take Percocet.
I've got torn meniscus in both knees and 3 discs that look like a car ran over them, and I don't take 15 milligrams of Percocet. I don't take 1 milligram of Percocet. And you take it for 15 years, trust me, it's not giving you pain relief. If you've been taking it that long, you're addicted to Percocet,
I can quit
which
rather
keeps
easily.
you in the zone. Well, look, we're looking for explanations of why you're kind of lunched out about all of this. And Mike goes digging into this and finds out that you're taking narcotics every day.
Well, because narcotics don't just give impaired judgment, they also give impaired parenting. So that's why Dr. Phil has been speaking to you, and there's a bit of a flat affect, or some would say a low energy, where you're not just getting angry, you don't have the strength. It's because you've been numbing yourself out.
I use my wife's health as motivation not to drink. I haven't even thought about the Percocet at all.
You're just kind of like, and you're on drugs.
Doesn't feel like it.
Well, no, it wouldn't to you, because you're on drugs. If we called the 10 directors of the top dual diagnosis treatment programs in America and said, he's sober as to alcohol for 10 months. He is, however, taking 15 to 20 milligrams that he admits to of some type of Percocet, Dilaudid, morphine, oxycodone, whatever it is, over the years, for 15 years, how many out of 10 would say he's clean and sober?
None of them. Not one would say you're clean and sober. I mean, I own a treatment center, and that's why when we were going through the documentation, I was like, well, no wonder he's having a hard time standing up to his daughter and taking care of the house, is he's numbed out. And you're not numbing, the truth, like Dr. Phil said, it's no longer about the physical pain. It's you just want your emotional pain to be numbed out. There's relief.
Okay.
You talk about going to Walmart and sleeping in the parking lot, and you said that like, doesn't everybody? No. Only people that are on drugs. You know, look around the other cars. Everybody else is.
Oh, my.
Because really, I'm looking for answers. I'm looking to try to figure out where the impetus is, where the drive is, where the awareness is, where the alertness is, where the motivation is. And you're just kind of like, and you're on drugs.
Doesn't feel like it.
Well, no, it wouldn't.
I don't mean to make light of
No,
it.
it wouldn't to you, because you're on drugs. Help me out here.
I'm in with you. I mean, I think, and it's not just Tony, it's also you, Heather. It's the combination of, I mean, Heather needs to be on drugs.
I do.
Tony, most likely, you don't need to be on drugs. You don't know what a recovery program is because you thought your recovery was just getting off of alcohol.
Yes.
When really the alcohol is just a solution to the problem, which is yourself. The pills are a solution to the pain. So we have to take it all out. We have to rebuild you so that you can start to be the man and the husband that you deserve to be.
I have known him since junior high. We're high school sweethearts, and he helps a lot. He does a lot. He is a good man. If I pass, I just want to plan for my daughter.
Right.
I don't know what to do or how to treat her, how to talk to her about it, and she's falling. She's falling. She's free falling. She needs, someone's got to catch her, and I keep putting my hand out, and I keep holding on to her, and I'm afraid I'm going to...
And what I'm trying to do is give her a wake-up call and get all the resources around on point. I'm the incurable optimist. I totally believe that your daughter is exhibiting what she's doing out of fear
Yes.
and out of pain.
It is.
That doesn't mean I think she's a bad person, but her behavior is atrocious.
It is, yes. She's so scared that she's gonna lose me and that she clings on to me. You're all I've got. You're all I've got, Mommy. Don't leave me, Mommy. On her knees, she cries. Don't leave me, Mommy. Stay. I need you. You're the only person I care about. You're my everything. And it hurts. And therefore, when she gets spoiled by Grandma and Daddy and occasionally me, it makes me feel good to know that I can see her happy right now.
Okay.
Does that make sense? I don't know.
It does. But it's not in her best interest to enable her and not require her to grow up to be able to handle the realities of what might be coming.
Yes.
Now, I told Heather and Tony's daughter, Rae, if she was going to come to the studio, she needed to behave. So far, she has. She's going to join us next. I'm not going to shoot her face, and that's because she's a minor. As y'all know, I often don't do that. This has all been much ado about nothing. But we're going to talk to her next.
Since my mom is sick, they mostly focus on her, so I don't really get any attention. My parents are lenient. They will let my boyfriend sleep over. I just want to feel included in this family.
You do not want to miss that. After a rocky morning involving Rae barricading her mother in our production van, find out what happens when Rae finally makes it to stage. Is Rae pregnant? Or was it all a ruse to take further advantage of her checked-out father and dying mother? Is all of this bad behavior a desperate cry for attention? Plus, Rae wasn't done when she left the stage. Find out what happened that caused her to throw what might be her all-time temper tantrum backstage. I want to thank all of my guests today. If you have a question for me, you can go to drphil.com, and don't forget you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We'll see you next time.